I've been planning this day for such a long time. It's been a while since we've been out here. It's one of my favorite places to go in all of Chicagoland, the Botanic Garden. And to talk a little bit about how the winter was and how the spring is shaping up to be, we've got horticulturist Heather Sherwood. Always great talking to you, Heather. How are our gardens going to look? How was this winter, generally speaking?
If you get the weather warming up, everything's starting to pop right about now for us. Our daffodil show is coming out next weekend, and we have beautiful poppies that we just planted this week, 4,700 in our English oak meadow. This weekend, our magnolias should be in full flower, and a lot of our containers are out and blooming beautifully right now.
Now, you were saying maybe the peak time out here for spring is going to be maybe a couple weeks from now?
Definitely. Our daffodil best display will be next weekend, and our tulips are usually the beginning of May, just before Mother's Day. It's just stellar for our tulips and trees.
Well, things already beginning to get a lot of color out here at the garden, and in just a few moments we're going to talk to Heather about some things that you can plant right now in the garden to kind of kickstart the spring spirit, right?
Definitely. We have some great containers to show you and some fabulous plants and a lot of bulbs to add into the containers too.
All right.
Great day out there. Plenty of sunshine today. Our thermometer's been creeping up as the day goes on.
We like it. ABC7's Mike Kaplan also is liking it. He's out the Botanic Garden today. Must be gorgeous out there.
It is spectacular, Alan and Linda, and I know a lot of gardens just beginning to kind of come to life now, but Heather Sherwood here at the Chicago Botanic Garden is going to talk about how we can get down and dirty and kind of kickstart the color by doing a container garden. Tell me, what is your basic philosophy this time of year in getting these things going?
I use a lot of perennials and annuals mixed together, and then I always love throwing in a little bit of vegetables or actually lettuce is one of my favorite things because you can actually eat it then, and it's a usable container as well as pretty.
All right, so show us what we do here. Obviously, you got a nice pot here ready to go with some dirt, and this is a columbine.
Yeah, it's a perennial columbine that we use here. It was forced in our greenhouses, and once the container's finished, you can actually plant it in the backyard. And I'm sticking 2 of these small plants in here, getting them wedged in there nicely, and
you probably want to have a couple different heights of plants, too.
Definitely. I like the tallest stuff at the back kind of towards us. If this would be kind of where the back of the building is here. And then we'd move into a little bit of texture material. And I have lettuces here for today. And this is a mini lettuce, so you actually just eat the leaves at this size. And it's really nice in salads.
Or just plain, like you're eating it. She made me eat some rosemary flowers earlier, which were tasty, actually. Okay. So we have the lettuce there, and then so you've also got some cilantro.
Oh, you can't beat cilantro in a salsa dip at all. It's the best in the world. So I love using this for a little bit of texture, and this blooms. It gets really tall, and it's really quite beautiful when you use it in a container.
Okay, and you're going to probably put some color in here in front. We're going to let you work on that a little bit more while I talk about the weather, and we'll let you finish this potting here as she gets some of those violas right in there. Yep. Hey there, Linda and Alan. Beautiful day out here in Glencoe. And I know that a lot of plants are starting to emerge in your garden. And Tim Johnson, who's a senior horticulturist here at the CBG, is going to talk about some things we should be doing in our garden. And you got the shears out. What do we want to do with those?
It's definitely time to get your perennials cut back if you haven't yet. And be careful because they're starting to grow now. So be gentle when you're in the gardens working, especially with grasses too. Cut them a little higher than normal because they've probably started to grow by now.
Okay. And then I know that a lot of critters are out there now too, aren't there?
You may not have noticed the visitors, but they're probably in there chewing on the new growth. So go to your local garden center and buy a repellent and spray it on there and reapply after it rains. And it's a good idea to wear rubber gloves because your hands will smell.
Absolutely. What about fertilizer? We want to use a granular fertilizer, but I see you've got some sulfur. What is that good for?
This is good to apply for plants that like acidic soil like rhododendrons and azaleas. And apply about 1 pound per 100 square feet and gently rake it in to the soil. And it's also a good idea to wear rubber gloves with that and be careful.
All right, now with the sun we're having the next couple of days, plants are going to start to grow up. We want to stake some of these things like tomato plants, and you can get the store-bought green stuff, but you've got a great idea about a little homespun tip.
Yep, and it's important to get your support in before the perennials need it. What you can do is put in branches from pruning and stick it in amongst the perennials, let them grow up through the branches and provide a natural way to support it.
Great idea, and you can save yourself a couple of bucks that way. Thanks for those tips, Tim.